Alright, so last time that I did a review, I reviewed the Edifiers H850s. Closed back headphones, really cheap. They were $50. This time around, I have a pair of cheap open back headphones. These are the Philips SHP950. Or no, 9500. So these right here are open back headphones with probably the most comfortable design in a headphone that I have tried ever. I own about 5 or 6 different pairs of headphones. These are the most comfortable because there is no clamp on them whatsoever. You put them around your head and they stay like that. There's no clamp, there's no force on your head. And the pads are gigantic. Those are some giant pads. And the reason I bought these was because I wanted to do a review on them because the hype for these has been real for the past half year. Reason being is because everyone started trying it, and a lot of people have come to the conclusion that it's one of the best headphones you can buy for its price range. Which I bought this on eBay for $60 brand new. Really was sold by Newegg, but through their eBay store. And I decided, well, since the hype was real for these things, I decided, let's try them out. These are discontinued. Everywhere that I see, it says that they're discontinued. You see the prices of these things fluctuate all over the place. They tend to stay under $100, and that I think is the perfect place for them to be. Now, I bought these for $60, and I feel like that's probably some of the best money I've ever spent because of all the headphones that I have here. They're probably the ones that I've used the second most. Not the most, not the most, but second most. And I can try to explain to you why, but even then, I'm not 100% sure why I do that. These don't sound amazing like everyone says they do, or at least some people say they do. They have issues that I feel need to be addressed. Let's talk about the sound quality. People compare them to the Sennheiser HD600s. I have never heard the HD600s because I'm currently trying to find them for $200 because I refuse to pay more than $200 for headphones that I can't demo because of where I live. So, if these sound like the 600s, I feel like I might be disappointed. And I know that sounds like I'm knocking these headphones, and in some ways I am, but understand that I like these. I really like these. But my issues with them is that if they sound anywhere near like the 600s, I'm going to have issues with the sound because when I listen to music on these, everything feels like there's a distance that can't really be associated with soundstage because the imaging and the separation isn't there. They're open back, but their soundstage is pretty disappointing for open back headphones. They're not awful, they're not in your ear. They're there. There's a soundstage, but it's so narrow. There's certain songs that when I listen to them, it sounds like you're in a tiny little club and you're just listening to the band play there in front of you. There's a sense of intimacy with it, but at the same time, there's this distance in the vocals that makes you just want to turn the knob up on your amp, but everything else just gets turned up along with it, and you start to have issues. There are certain genres of music that I feel like these do an amazing job. Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd's The Wall album, one of my favorite albums ever. Sounds amazing on these. That album tends to sound amazing on everything though, but I really, really enjoy it on these. Comfortably Numb is my favorite song from Pink Floyd, and these, it's a high. You get a high from these because it sounds so good. But I attest that to more the fact that it's just a good song. And these handle it well. They handle it well. Probably not my favorite rendition of it. I think the T50 RPs, Mark IIIs, still do it better. But those are twice the price of these. Now, if these sound anywhere like the 600s, I know that they're not going to be my end game because these, just like the 600s, at least what people say, have no bass. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad, because while you don't feel the bass, you hear the bass. You hear the noise of the bass, but you don't feel it. You don't get that extra push that really gives it that enjoyable bass. Now, even using the bass boost on the FIO E10K doesn't do anything. I mean, I could flip it on and off. It's not changing anything. These are literally at their limit of what they can do with bass. And that's fine. That's fine, because the genres that I mostly use these for, the ones that I gravitate to, tend to be things like rock songs, classic rock, metal. If I feel like listening to metal, which is not that much anymore, but still, they handle that stuff well. And I feel like it's because of the lack of not just bass, because you could hear the bass. Sub bass is gone. It's absolutely gone. There are certain songs that I listen to that have a lot of sub bass where they don't sound the same as they do on almost every other pair of headphones that I have. I have right here the AD700s X's. All right, these also lack any bass at all. These two pretty much handle bass the same way, where it just rolls off very quickly, and these do the exact same thing. Now, the main advantage of those is the fact that they have a much wider sound stage, and they handle vocals a lot better. I have problems with these for vocals because I enjoy the vocals in rock songs on these, and I can't tell you why. It just has this niceness to it. It's almost a warm sounding. Like, it almost sounds warm, but not fully warm. I've heard of warm headphones before, and these aren't exactly there. But they do have a sense of warmth to the vocals that, for rock songs, depending on what it is, I enjoy it. But for a lot of genres, for example, Arcade Fire's Reflector, the vocals are so just unlistenable because they're so quiet compared to the rest of it that you start turning up the knob, and then when the instruments and everything else comes in, you're deaf. You're deaf by the end of it. So these aren't all around good headphones. I can't say that they are, because in terms of sound quality, I would say that they're a great supplement if you want something that you can just wear forever, because these are so fucking comfortable. Like, I get excited thinking about how comfortable they are, because too many headphones that I have are uncomfortable. The T50RPs, I had to have a friend knit me a little strap to go up here because they just crushed your head. The DT700s, same thing, but the DT700s were actually worse. They were actually worse because they just started crushing your head, and after you took them off for 20 minutes, your head was still in pain. So these, in terms of comfort, murder everything else that I have. Even the 700Xs, because, I mean, the wing design is hit or miss sometimes, really. So these, in terms of comfort, are fantastic. If you want to listen to music for a very long time and you're a big fan of classic rock or Pink Floyd, if you love Pink Floyd, these are your headphones. Under $100. I should preface that because I still think that the T50RPs do Pink Floyd better, but I enjoy these as well. I mean, they do Pink Floyd well, super well. Now these, the best way that I could describe the sound is that you are listening to the music, you're not experiencing the music. Now, I know that sounds kind of douchey, but bear with me here. The DT700s, because of their amazing sub bass, they give you this sense of experience when listening to definitely bassy music. But even certain songs that don't necessarily rely on the bass get this enhancement to it that really makes it a experience to listen to. The T50RPs, Mark IIIs that is, those are an experience, especially for Pink Floyd. You are experiencing the music. These, you are just listening to it. Now, is that really a bad thing? I wouldn't say that it is. Sometimes you just want to listen to music. I put these on and I can have them on all day, listen to music, play video games, watch videos on the internet. Doesn't matter. These do it. These do it real well. And I think that's all that matters, you know? For $60, hell, I would pay at most probably $80 or $100 to these. Anywhere, if you can get these anywhere between $80 and $100, I say get them because they are comfortable. I mean, the design of it is fine. I personally love the design. Other people hate it. I personally like this. This all looks really nice. It feels solid. It's not the most solid headphones that I have, but for the price, like the edifiers don't compete with this. I paid $10 more for these than I did for the edifiers, and I feel like these will survive way longer than the edifiers will. These are pretty much one of the best purchases you can make under $100, unless you get anything else probably open boxed. But brand new, I mean, it's hard to beat this. Now the cable is removable, and it's fantastic because it's just a regular 1/8-inch jack. So, I mean, any cable, because this is the stock cable, and my God, is it awful! It's disgusting. It's long, but you can't really complain because you could just get a new cable for it. I'm currently waiting on a V-Moda cable for it. So, I mean, I'm investing money into these because I enjoy them. Of all the headphones that I have, again, the ones that I use the second most, I've used them more than the T50 RPs because I can wear these longer. Even with the new strap, those after about 4 hours, I get tired. It just gets tiring. These don't get tiring at all. I've worn them entire days and no problem whatsoever. If you just want headphones that you could just use all of the time, go ahead. But if you have very specific needs for music, if you enjoy hip-hop, EDM, anything like that, rap, don't get these. If that's all you listen to, don't get these because you're going to be disappointed in the sound because the lack of bass is there. And not only is the bass lacking, but there's no sub bass at all. Like, you don't even hear it, you know, it's gone. It's gone. And there's certain songs that really need that. They really need that enhancement for it. And you can't bass boost these. I've tried, bass boost doesn't work for them. It just doesn't. They're pretty much at their limit when it comes to the bass. That being said, I enjoy these. I listen to a lot of classic rock, a lot of, you know, metal, well, not metal, not so much recently. I listen to EDM, I listen to rap, I listen to hip-hop, I listen to indie rock, all of these different genres, and I still like these a lot, because while I wouldn't listen to the newest, I don't know, Future album on there, I would listen to Pink Floyd all day on these. All day. So they fit my needs, essentially. They fit a niche role in what I listen to. And I think that's what they are. They are a headphone that essentially fits a role in your listening environment. They aren't your end-all be-all headphones, but if you want something that you can wear forever, if you want something that will do your music justice, depending on what it is, these are it. They don't ruin anything in certain genres. They don't ruin rock. They don't ruin indie rock. They don't ruin anything like that. Anything where the vocals are important. These won't ruin them. Unless, I guess, the music isn't mixed well. I don't know. It's because Reflector, that is the one song where it really bothered me. There are other things where you feel the instruments are a little bit more emphasized than the vocals, but that doesn't necessarily bother me. Reflector really bothered me on these. So they're an odd beast. I definitely recommend that you pick these up if you already own a pair of headphones that you really like and you just want a taste of something different. You know, I mean, I plan on buying the 600s maybe next month. So when I get the 600s, I will compare them to these. Just as out of curiosity, really. We'll see how that goes. I mean, it's hard to describe these because the hype for them was so real. It is so real, really. Because people act like they are fantastic headphones under $150, under $200, and I can't say that because I've tried the AD700Xs, and I paid $70 for those, even though they retail for $100. So if I had to choose between those two, I'd probably listen to those more. That's just how it is. That being said, these I wish I had bought 3 of these so that I could keep like 2 or 3 of them in boxes and just hand them out to people for holidays. Where, oh shit, I didn't realize it's your birthday. Here, have good headphones. That's what these are. And I wish they weren't discontinued because I would definitely recommend them to a lot of people. They sometimes go on sale for like $60, but you could find them anywhere between $60 and $100. And whatever price you find it at, it's worth it. It's worth it because they just do a lot of things right. I like the warmth in the vocals for rock. If you really enjoy Reflector by Arcade Fire, don't get these. Just don't. Just don't, because it sounds weird. It's very weird sounding, and it's hard to describe why. Like it's just like the vocals are gone for most of it, and then the instrument comes in, and you can get down with that, but the vocals are just gone. It's an odd experience to use these. That being said, if you love Pink Floyd, get them. Just get them. So, I mean, if I had to say what I like these compared to, I mean, I don't know. Of the group that I have here, which is the DT 770s, the T50 RPs back there, and the AD 700Xs, I feel like I like these the least in terms of sound, but I use these a lot more. And I think a big part of that has to do with the fact that they just do everything good all around. I mean, if I had to say which pair of headphones this is the most compliment to, it's definitely these. Because these will handle everything you need in terms of bass. Because the sub bass on these is fantastic. Those will also get a review later on. And these have no sub bass or any bass whatsoever. But they handle everything else just fine. The warm vocals are fantastic for rock. Let me wake this up. So, yeah. I mean, that's all I really have to say about that. These, is the hype real for these? It's a bit disappointing. You know, people were acting like these were fantastic. And I mean, maybe I just don't like the sound of the HD 600s. I'll get the 600s, I'll compare it to these. Maybe I won't like the 600s. Maybe I like the 650s more. Because I like the warmth of these. But they're not there yet. They're not at the warmth that I would want. But I use these a lot. Just quick preface for gaming. I use these a lot for gaming in CSGO. Again, positioning and everything, not great. It's not, like, it's better than most closebacks. So if you have closeback headphones, get these. I'm just going to say that. These are a great complement to any closebacks, but understand that the imaging and the sound stage isn't fantastic, but it gets the job done. It'll probably be doing better than whatever pair of Beats you're using to play on. So, yeah, I mean, for gaming, they're not great, but I still recommend them to people because they're so comfortable that you can use them literally all day for those, long CSGO sessions, and they'll handle it just fine. You won't die. I mean, any other headphones that I have here, and, they'll have issues. Even the AD700Xs, which are my go-to gaming headset, or headphones, I'll have issues after a while because of the pressure that they cause, because of the fact that these don't do this. And I don't understand why. I don't understand why Philips discontinued these either, because they do a fantastic job with their headphones. I plan on getting some X2s later on because of these. Because of these! I'm sold on the fact that Philips can make good headphones, and I will listen to the X2s and probably like them. But then again, I might hate them, because the hype for those is also real. So who knows? Who knows? We'll see how that goes. These get a recommendation from me. Just be warned, no sub bass. So if you only like EDM, if you only like your hip hop, your rap, these aren't gonna do that. They're not gonna do it justice. There's certain songs that will sound fine, but if you really want that bass to them, no, no. Tupac sounds great on these, by the way. I enjoy Tupac on these. So there's that. Pink Floyd sounds fantastic on these. Arcade Fire, the Reflector, specifically it was Reflector that bothered me. Did not sound that great on these. But yeah, I mean, of all the music that I've tried, I've enjoyed most of it on here. Except, I try not to listen too much rap on these because I do like that punchy bass every once in a while. But that's why I have the 700s, or the 770s, that is. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time when I probably will be reviewing another pair of headphones because I have a bunch of them and I want to get through all of them before I start buying new ones.